Hey, welcome to another edition of Ego on Break. It's been about 2 weeks. We had some difficulties, or at least I did on my part. So I take all that blame. But maybe today's a supersized episode, and we'll make up for some lost time. So
I've shaken my head since.
Yeah. Oh, you have. The Mississippi Madman went mad and lost all his hair, and
it was hot, and I just wanted to be cool.
Yeah, he wanted to be like Jay Andrews. You wanted to be cool. So I don't blame you. I'd shave mine too. I'm about due for a haircut myself. But I'm your host, Dynamite Jay Andrews, and
I got most of it.
and joined by the bald Mississippi Madman Logan Creed.
That's coming back.
So, watched any wrestling lately?
Yeah, a little Ring of Honor, a little bit of WWE, not much, and actually watched SLW. I've been watching a lot of SLW.
Okay. Well, I've been on the Al Perez kick here lately, so I've been watching a lot of Al Perez. And I say a lot, I mean like 4 matches.
More than most people have watched in 2018.
And then I came into some Pro Wrestling Guerrilla DVDs, and started watching a few of those. I think I'm watching like Battle of Los Angeles 2015 right now.
Oh, okay.
So,
3 years back?
Yeah. So I've got some stuff from like 05, 06, 07, something like that, right when they first got started.
Who'd you get them through?
Josh Newell, BIW, the promoter. Check out BIW. They've got events all over Mississippi, Louisiana, maybe some in Arkansas, I think, coming up. So
that's Bayou Independent Wrestling?
Yep, Bayou Independent Wrestling, BIW, for short.
Main Jack,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of initials.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so what was going on with Ring of Honor?
The two I watched, because I didn't watch the main event, which is a 6-man tag with SoCal versus the Kingdom for the 6-man tag team belts. I just didn't have enough time to watch it.
Right.
But the first match was Cheeseburger and Liger versus the Dogs. It was a really good match. Cheeseburger and Liger won with a double palm strike.
What do you think about Liger kind of taking Cheeseburger under his wing, so to speak?
Why not?
Yeah.
My feeling, why not?
Yeah.
At least do something with the guy.
Yeah. I don't know if Ring of Honor still has their dojo, but I know if they do, they moved it because the building that the dojo was in is now like the Cheeseburger Wrestling Academy or something. So if you want to be trained by Cheeseburger,
okay. I mean, I watched the guy work. He can wrestle his ass.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, like he was one of the trainers with Ring of Honor. He's probably the guy there taking bumps.
It's him and Delirious, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I think they have a few other people that swing in, come through. But I mean, they've got Bob Evans at their disposal.
Kind of like the old power plant back in the day.
Yeah.
Except they didn't try to literally take your money and make you leave.
Right. So, but I dig the Cheeseburger Liger.
They won with a double palm strike on not Little Willie,
Brett.
Brett. Yeah, Brett.
Yeah.
Word out. But that's good.
It's
cool.
Kind
of like the Dog. If you watched them, they basically took the Enzo Amore character and reversed it, because he does all the talking. He's the big guy.
No,
they really do.
I got you. So
it's the same kind of talking. So it is what it is. Then you had Jenny Rose versus Simi Sakai, and Jenny Rose I thought she's bigger than what she is till I saw her in the ring and like her head barely comes up to the top rope.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So, but it was a good match.
Was it?
Yeah. Dude, Simi freaking did a crossbody off the top to the floor, like minute and a half in.
Wow.
And then at one point, Jenny Rose gives her a shoulder tackle and she bumps off the apron to the floor. It was vicious. It reminded me of Cactus Jack back in the day. Like it hurt. It hurt me watching.
And Sumi, if it's not mistaken, she's not a young chick either.
No, I ain't touching that. But yeah, she's not young.
Yeah. She's been around a while.
She's probably
she's 100.
Fuck you. So you asked for that one. She's probably in her 40s if I had to take a guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So to be bumping to the floor, that's crazy.
And they reshowed it like multiple times.
Well, I mean,
it sucked.
Well, I mean that's hurt. Smart. If you're going to do it, let's get the most out of it. So
because that's the move, Cactus used to call it the Nesty Plunge. And he was like, they were getting him to do it every night, and he said his back literally started turning like blue and green.
Yeah.
Like, the promoter come to him, he's like, we might want to save that, because he said like it's probably one of the reasons he can't walk worth the day was taking that move over and over and over.
I can vouch for that. So I got on a kick of taking body slams and back body drops on the floor. So
something's wrong with y'all.
Yeah, well, adrenaline's a powerful drug.
Yeah, but pain's worse.
Not at the moment. Pain's worse the next day.
But and then of course we watched your show.
Yeah. I rewatched it earlier today. I got up fairly early, I guess you could say, and got some YouTube time in. But I was pleased with how it came out. I mean, I
can say
a lot of guys impressed me. They definitely brought their A game, so I was proud of that, and I dug it, man. We'll run down the results here in a second. What was you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say I only got to put up 3 matches. I have a new camera I was trying to figure out. Unfortunately, what it is it's more high def, so the memory cards I had, basically I didn't have enough time.
Right.
So I only wound up getting the last 3 matches. But I called the matches while I was watching them. But Stardust did good.
Yep.
And that dude's got over 4,000 views on my channel. It blew my mind. I'm like, holy crap. And like the comments have been pretty positive. I had one guy that he said, what's this big sack of shit in purple doing on the ring? And like, it was so heavily knocked out, like, I guess YouTube took it away. I only saw it for like a minute, and then it was gone.
Oh, wow.
But the rest have been positive comments. One guy asked,
asked for a new commentator.
what is, how does Ursa Major so hot?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't work out, and then when he runs, he sweats.
That's it.
So.
But I mean, it was just cool to watch, and I'm like, Jesus, how many people are gonna watch this? And as of last night, it was like 4,098.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, cow. He definitely gets the views. He definitely has that following. Has a following that we hope to have here one day. So. And
I'll say this, and it don't take nothing away from nothing, but I went and trained with him a little bit, and very open-minded.
Yep.
Willing to learn.
Yep.
I showed him a lot of old school evil stuff to do to people.
That's where you got that choke from, huh?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So he was. I bet Orion Taylor was like, man, I wish you wouldn't have showed him this.
Keep it simple. That way you never screw it up.
That's true. But he definitely in his debut match, he may not have proved that he was the world's greatest wrestler that never wrestled, but he did prove that he is capable of wrestling.
That's right.
So kudos to Stardust. He and Ursa Major defeated Orion Taylor and Adam Priest, and Stardust showed that there's brains and brawn as he pulled out the old Eddie Guerrero spot and used the fake chair shot.
That's something for a big old boy. He can run like a son gun when he's got to.
Well,
I thought he might well break his damn neck trying to get out of that range. Get away from
He's
Priest.
fast in short distance.
I'm telling you, me too.
He's not a long distance runner, but
the zombies come, they're gonna eventually get me. It's gonna be hell. I had to catch my breath and run again.
For that first 20 feet, it's gonna be. They better get up and go, huh? So so I was impressed. We saw that Nightmare and Eric Silva, they won back the tag team title, so we now have tag team champions again. As of right now, all of our titles have owners, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Only taking about half a year.
Yeah, half a year. But yeah, they faced the Cavemen, and I tell you what, the Cavemen came out with new gear and a new attitude. And they definitely brought the fight to Silva and Nightmare. It wasn't
with attitudes.
Yeah, I mean for sure. Definitely dudes with attitudes part 2. Maybe a new name for the Cavemen.
Sounds better than Cavemen to me.
It could be dudes with attitude too. Like there's a Too Cool Too, but it's not
Really?
TWO, but it's
know
TOO. Like we're all so cool.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool to see that. And for young guys with Alex Graves and Wes Warren, they definitely have, lost more than they've won, but they never back down. They're always they get up till they have no fight left. So I was really impressed with that attitude that they brought and that kind of never say die mentality.
True.
And they definitely brought the fight. They had Cowboy Scott with them. And he
that
tried his
really
best.
help at all.
Well, it didn't help. But there was a point where Matthias Darkthorn was trying to interfere, and Cowboy Scott stopped that. So you never know how, what would happen then. So
Battle of the Beards.
yeah, it's battle of something. After that, we saw who did we see? Oh, we saw Big K. Early in the night in the VIP, Big K was defeated by Hot Tamale Daniel Perez. And he laid out the challenge. He wanted to face him again, so we got to see that. And this time, Hot Tamale wasn't so hot as Big K, kind of put out the flame, so to speak.
Hit him with a lowdown.
Yeah, hit him with a lowdown and defeated Daniel Perez, not Alex Perez.
And dude, he's all over the place. Like I watched him last night in SLW.
Daniel Perez?
No.
Big K.
Big K.
Yeah, both of those guys really impressed me. Big K's been here for a while, but I think he's just now kind of getting his feet wet, as far as making a stand and kind of, growing roots, so to speak. So I definitely dug that, and I was really impressed with Hot Tamale. So can't wait to see him back. If nothing else, I think, maybe people will dig his theme song of Ricky Martin, Living La Vida Loca. So. So
yeah,
but that was cool. And then we got another member of the Left Hand Path. We got Trevor Aon taking on Lights, Camera, and Action. This match was supposed to happen at the event in April. Trevor did not show up for whatever reasons. He says make them wait if they want it, and I guess Cameron wanted, and he got weighted because he got knocked out by that too. But he, I don't know exactly what, I guess electric chair face buster, I guess is what you would call it.
Edge used to use it. I remember.
Okay.
That. Yeah.
So, but Cameron, came out looking good. He's got new ring gear. He's got a whole new presence, and he brought a fan into the ring with him and tried to do a pose off. But Trevor Aon was having none of that. So. Kudos to both those guys, but kudos to Trevor for walking away with a win.
Yeah.
And then we got Federated title match.
Dude,
I think this was a match a lot of people were looking forward to. John Davis put his Federated title on line against Jeff Cobb, and it was definitely not the most fast-paced match, but it was definitely probably the hardest hitting match of the event. And these two guys, wow, they show just how strong they are for sure. I know at one point Cobb had Davis for a stall suplex. Davis countered, and as soon as his feet hit the ground, Cobb shot up into the air. And it was all Davis. So I was like, holy smokes.
Like Cobb isn't a tall guy. He's my height.
But
honestly.
he is
But like he's just
like
it was kind of funny. I was taking Shane around, our new announcer, and we're getting weights.
Yeah.
He's literally hanging upside down like Batman in the corners getting the weights. He does all kind of stretches and stuff before he gets into the actual match. And it was just, I'm like, well, I've never got weight from a guy while he's hanging upside down. But Shane's like, this is weird. I was like, yeah, but kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoyed having Cobb there. Definitely a top-notch performer. And
where was he going after he left us? I forgot.
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. Australia and Guam. Yep.
Holy crap.
So, definitely not down the street.
Not at all. Okay.
But, it was pretty rocking to see that. And then it brought us to we had already mentioned Ursa Major and Stardust defeating Orion Taylor and Adam Priest. And, Adam Priest and Orion, they had been opponents.
Yeah.
Stardust chose them both to win his Stir Search.
Yeah.
They turned it down, got attacked. They joined forces momentarily. What will happen after this? They showed a lot of promise as a tag team, but at the same time, you could tell they were not on the same page. They were not a cohesive unit, and I think that's one thing that led to their defeat. But at the same time, like, man, what could they be if they do join forces? Put a little time in the gym and get to know each other and kind of get on that same page. These guys could be phenomenal. But at the same time, holy smokes, they've had a phenomenal rivalry up to this point. So I'm curious to see how it works out afterwards. And
I know, like, they got I think what hurt them, like you said, they weren't on the same page, but Like they tried to fight Shaky / Ursa Major as if they're the same size.
Yeah.
Dude, Shaky's a big dude.
Yep.
He's huge.
Yep. And hot.
I don't know about
That's
all
what-
that part.
that's what-
That's on you if you
hot and
think
sweaty.
so. Alright.
Hot and out of breath.
Possibly.
Well, you can't really say. I mean, Ursa did. Ursa's shaky. He predominantly was the guy in the match.
Yeah, he was. He'd tag out and go whoop her,
Like
tag
he'd
out.
get 5 6 second breathers, but for the most part, it was all him. So hey, I guess when you're under the mind control of Stardust, you can
That's
do
it.
things you never could do before. So, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I was super surprised at how well Stardust done. Not
off
sure
a
why I
hell
was
of a body
surprised.
slam.
Yes, he did. Not sure why I was surprised seeing how he was claiming to be the world's greatest wrestler. But I was surprised. And I'm like you, I'm kind of surprised at the attack that, Orion and Adam Priest, the strategy and game plan they went into the match with. And it just makes you think, well, maybe they didn't have it. Maybe they definitely went on the same page.
Yeah.
But, that led to the main event. We did crown a new Pride champion. It had been vacant when Joey Abel gave up the title due to being going full time in the military, and we got to see.
Retired 2 weeks later.
Yeah, we got to see.
Sorry, I'm still gonna give you hell about that.
Well, in his words, he never retired. He just took time off.
That's not what he sold us.
So we got to see Ray Fury. He evolved into Dark
The
Fury.
Predator.
Yeah, to the Predator. Predator Fury. And gets to him take on O'Shea Edwards, the Styles champion, J.D. Jenkins, and Marvelous Monty Warbucks.
That's it.
It was a 4-way match, fatal 4-way, 1 pin to a winner. And we saw Styles champion O'Shea Edwards
Pin Ray Fury.
pin Ray Fury, absolutely.
With the round the world rock bottom.
Yeah, that move. And
I don't know if that's real. Man.
the new Pride champion, so
And Styles champion.
yeah, and Styles champion. And it's kind of sad because we went so long without a Pride champion, and tradition and ego is if the Styles champion works his way up to win the Pride title, he has to forfeit the Styles title. So now the Styles title's vacant,
You suck.
or will be vacant. He hasn't gave it up yet, but we should have that. I'm not going to call it a ceremony because it's not really really a ceremonial thing to take away a title, but we will have him give back the title so that we can put it up in a match down the road, and hopefully that comes very quickly. I know we're going to try to do something big in August, so maybe we have that may be our main event is crowning a new Styles champion. And I'd have to say there's definitely some guys that should be in contender to that. J.D. Jenkins, one of them. Big K, is another one. He definitely came out swinging. So hopefully we can see those guys with some other guys fight for the Styles title. So pretty excited for that. And we're just getting ready for June 23rd. We're coming back to the Hideaway, unfinished business, and yep. And O'Shea Edwards defends his Pride title for the first time.
Against two.
Can't say yet.
You suck.
But there's some things in the process of just being confirmed. Hopefully in the next few days we will have that confirmed, and possibly next week we'll do it. Ego on break, we'll get that, and we can advertise who that challenger is. But let's just say it's definitely unfinished business if it works out in our favor. Also, we're going to do. In years past, we worked with Ricky Brown with Deep South Championship Wrestling Mississippi in Canton to do an event every year during Memorial Day. And I think in November, Ricky passed away.
Yep.
And I think it was the same.
It's about that time.
The funeral was the same day as the Great Southern 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so from here on out, anytime we do an event right around Memorial Day, whether it's right before or right after, we're going to do that in honor of Ricky Brown. So that's a little bit where unfinished business comes from. Is maybe he didn't get to finish his business.
Ricky was a cool dude.
Yeah, Ricky was a cool cat. I really liked him. Wish more people would have got to know him.
It was fun to talk to.
Right. But
you would hear stuff that come out of Ricky, and you're still kind of going.
What? But we're gonna do that, and we're just gonna remember Ricky's memory, and hopefully that's gonna become an annual tradition.
Yeah.
And so unfinished business in memory of Ricky Brown, to honor Ricky Brown, that kind of thing. So be at the Hideaway on June 23rd and help us do that. And then Hard Knocks has a show coming up right before June 23rd.
Why am I so bad with dates? Because I know I ain't got the date.
16th, June 16th.
Oh, yeah, it's coming up. June 16th.
At Lucky Town.
Excuse me. Yeah, Lucky Town Brewery in Jackson. It's not too far from University.
Okay.
Basically, you go past the University and catch a left, you'll run right into it.
All right.
Just keep looking to your left.
Okay.
But yeah, $10 for tickets.
Fan the
doors open at
Flames.
6.
Right.
Yeah, and we're gonna get still a show. Get still a idea from you, and we're gonna have one pretty good sized dark match. It's gonna be a 6-man scramble, elimination style. These are gonna be. It's kind of like a tryout, basically. And to see if there's something we're interested in booking them more and more, or one time, one go.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool that y'all are offering the trial matches.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing with Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
It's still a relatively young company trying to get their feet planted squarely on the ground, I guess. And we hope that things work out. And we can have 2 promotions in one town. It's just tearing it up, and not like some of these. You can't come to my town. We're welcoming you. If you want to come run wrestling here, hey, come on.
And then I can tell you a few matches. I don't want to tell them all, but I'll give you a few.
All right, yeah, lay it on.
Gonna have Ursa Major versus West Warren, kind of a student versus teacher type scenario there,
so to speak.
David Ali versus Justin Towers. Justin's about 6'10". David Ali's a big old dude. But great match. That was one of the first matches they had there, and I was impressed with it. And I wanted to see a comeback because Ali won the first match. I was like, well, I want to see if Towers can beat him. So the main event is Jacksonville versus Eric Silva. So I'm going to have your tag team champions.
Awesome.
And I'm going to work or wrestle Monty Warbucks. So this is probably my last year in wrestling.
Breaking out the Logan
possibly.
Creed, huh?
I ain't decided yet or not. But I'm going to test the waters. And if I'm going to test, I might as well test out against one of the best.
Absolutely. Is this your first match back since having your knee?
That's Logan Creed, yes. I did the Rumble. I didn't really count that, but I did it.
Yeah, and then you wrestled in Biloxi?
Yeah, Pepper Jack Jones wrestled in Biloxi.
That's right.
And beat John.
Yeah, John Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The Wild Ride. Was it a Wild Ride for Pepper Jack?
Yeah, he yanked my hair off and I gave him a schoolboy.
Oh, yeah. It was a wild ride for somebody. So,
I remember I had my pants around my ankles and the girl was trying to take our picture. Like I was trying to get my tights on. And I guess she didn't realize, but where we was, remember it was open. Like it was a little open tent. And I'm like, well, that's probably not a picture I want to get out there. But, I mean, I had shorts on and everything.
If you want a picture of the madman with his pants around his ankles, somewhere in the background of somebody's picture, he's out there.
I was
That's
like,
what you're trying to say.
Why are you taking this picture?
So, it was for the paper, don't worry.
Yeah, probably.
Nobody reads these papers
like I had
anymore.
Shorts on, but I'm like still going.
Yeah.
Really?
So, are you nervous?
No.
No.
Like I said, I went and did a little training. It was me and Stardust and Fury and a few others.
Will we see Logan on the top rope?
No, hell no. Unless Monty puts me up there.
You know what they say? If you get kicked off the horse, you got to get back on the horse.
Off at a horse.
I mean, technically, you get
that's
kicked.
the results of getting drugged by a horse. Now, I kept riding the sun gun afterwards, but I'm not going back to top rope.
You got to get back on the horse.
No.
I mean, you have to prove that you can.
I'm not a high flyer. I'm a fat faller. So
that you proved. You did prove that. So
that's what happens when you're 41 years old and fat and get on top rope and lose your balance.
If you want to see a 41-year-old fat guy,
now,
42-year-old fat guy wrestle, be over there at Lucky Town and see if he gets lucky. So
I think it's gonna be a fun show. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
And then we got a 3-way tag match too.
Holy crap!
It's a lot of wrestling. So
if you want to see 47
wrestling.
wrestlers in one place, come see Hard Knocks Revolution and fan the flames July 16th? June 16th in Jackson.
Talk about my brain memory.
Yeah, well, hey, chair shots and bottom tops. So, like I said, I said earlier that I was watching some Al Perez stuff. We kind of been on a kick of watching his stuff. Do you have memories of Al Perez? What's your favorite Al Perez match? Or do you have one?
God, I vaguely remember watching. I couldn't tell you a match I've watched. And I know I did. That's the sad part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I really don't remember.
Well, see, I was kind of the same way, and that's really what got me on it. I remember watching a lot of promos. It would be him and Gary Hart because I got on a while where I was watching a lot of Gary Hart stuff, and so that was like Gary's guy. Was the Latin heartthrob Al Perez.
I remember that.
And so I know the guy could talk, and I knew who he was, but I never really watched a lot of his matches. So I watched Al Perez versus the Champion, also known as the Nightmare, which is not our Nightmare, but a big guy in a mask, and depending on where
it Ted Allen,
it's possible.
Okay.
But wherever he was built from, like I watched a couple different things of him as well, but he was either the Champion or the Nightmare. Like, but I know he was the North American Champion, possibly for Mid-South at one time, as the Nightmare. So I watched that, and that was really good. I watched Al Perez versus Barry Windham in Puerto Rico, and that was pretty decent. And I watched something else. I can't remember the other match I watched of Al Perez. It wasn't that good. It was just like a little short squash match or whatever. And I'm currently in the process of watching Al Perez versus the Handsome Stranger from Global. Not Global Force, but Global. And the cool thing is a young Scott Anthony is doing commentary. And you may also know Scott Anthony as Raven.
Yep.
So
he hadn't even hit Scotty the Body or Johnny Flamingo yet.
None of that. But even then, like, talking was his strong point.
Yeah, always was. And he wasn't a bad wrestler by any means.
But he definitely was better with the microphone.
He could talk him into the building.
Right. So yeah, Al Perez. I'm gonna watch some more stuff of his. I kind of like digging through and maybe getting guys you've heard of but don't remember, and checking out their stuff and letting that stuff live. I mean, there's a lot of good wrestling that you probably never heard of, or maybe you never saw, but whatever. But the one big Al Perez story I remember, and I don't remember like I remember it as a kid or anything like that, but coming up through wrestling, it was one of those things you would hear about. But Al Perez was booked in Florida against Ric Flair for the NWA title, and he was supposed to lose, and he had let it out that he wasn't going to lose, not in his hometown, that he was going to pin Flair. Let's just say I don't think the match ever happened, or at least that's the way the story goes, but I don't think he was welcome back in the NWA after that, which was, just goes to show you, hey, if I want to win, I will. So, but yeah, he's going to shoot on Flair, and it was going to be the NWA champion in his hometown. So, and why not? Why not shoot on Flair? I mean, hey, wrestling's real,
lose
right?
a job, evidently.
Yeah. So, but speaking of the NWA, have you heard NWA's involvement in All In?
Yeah, and at first I wasn't real excited about it, but then the more I thought about it, and I heard Cody's talk about it, and Cody's like, I think this is the belt my father held, and I'm getting to fight for that same title. And I was like, on that aspect of it, I think it's awesome.
He and Magnus had a really good promo. I just watched. Magnus came out after a match, gave him a bottle of water, and said, you call yourself the American Nightmare, but I know you still believe in the American Dream, and I am, the embodiment of the American Dream. I open doors for British wrestlers, and you get all that. And he said, what I am as NWA's champion, I will come to your face. I will, blah blah blah, whatever. and he said he was he admired Cody up until the point where Cody challenged him, but not to his face, not through a video, not through. He just challenged him through the promoter of the NWA belt. And at the end, all in a press conference, he just said, "I'm going to wrestle Magnus."
Or the promoter of Pro Wrestling Ego. If I wanted to shout at the title, why wouldn't I go to you?
But I mean, I get what he's saying. Hey, be a man about it. Come to me and be like, "Hey, I want to fight you."
But it's your decision. It's not his.
It is. As a matchmaker, it is my decision. But at the same time, in Ego, we have that. We don't believe that general managers need to be out there making matches and making guys wrestle. If you're man enough to step up, then he should be man enough to fight. And I think that's where Nick Aldis, I was saying Magnus, but
yeah, but he was Magnus and TNA.
Right. But I get where he's coming from. Like, be a man and come to me face to face. And if you want a shot, I'll give you a shot. But don't be afraid to step your game up. So I dug it. It got me interested in Nick Aldis versus Cody at All In. And I'm super excited that the NWA is involved. New Japan Pro Wrestling is involved. Ring of Honor is involved.
The podcast thing.
Yeah, like how many promotions are coming? Like, literally, like, this is not a super show, but this is probably the closest thing you'd get to a super show where all promotions are working together.
Think about this. They sold out in 29 minutes.
Yeah.
And some change.
Yeah.
So that's a 10,000 seat arena. They probably could have did a bigger damn room, and
for sure.
they probably could have sold it out.
And the question will be: Is this a one-time only? Will this happen again next year?
I've seen some of the interviews with Cody, and Cody's like, "I'm scared to death. I don't know exactly what I'm doing." And we're trying to put stuff together people want to see. Is it gonna, in the end, you're trying to please the fans, but are you going to please the fans? Is the question.
Yeah. And it's phenomenal to do it once. Like, not going to take anything away from those guys. Like, they went out and done something that a lot of people don't do. But at the same time, is like the true testament would be if they could do it twice.
I think about it.
Like, I don't say 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, right? Just 2 times. Like, can you do it again? Like, are you all in again? But yeah, the whole thing got put out there by Dave Meltzer, right? Where he's the one that said they couldn't do it. And they were like, yes. Well, he had put out that he was coming to it. And Cody said, "You're not welcome."
Meltzer's not welcome. I knew Russo isn't welcome. They kicked his ass off the show. I didn't know Meltzer.
Meltzer, if I'm not mistaken now, and my things do run together sometimes, so I may be talking about Vince Russo.
Russo was not welcome.
But I'm pretty sure that Meltzer put in a thing that he was all in or whatever, and Cody tweeted out, "You're not welcome here." But I could be wrong. It could have been Vince Russo, and I just got my stories crossed.
I know Russo was not welcome.
Go and do a little investigating of yourself and see if I'm right or wrong. And let us know in the comments.
Well, they basically didn't want Russo because of his homophobia remark.
Yeah.
So that was why.
So, but it's, man, just like there's